Hi everyone, Miss Kit here again, just with a really quick video on how we solve equations algebraically. Now, it always sounds a little bit daunting when we say solve this equation and you're left with just x's and being told to show you're working out, but it's really not too bad. When you solve a one-step equation, I know we can do this by inspection, but when we do it, we're just applying an operation to both sides, and that's often the opposite operation to what we're seeing in front of us. Take this x plus 5, for example. I've got x plus 5 equals 16. We know that's going to be 6 plus 5. But to show that, I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. And that there will leave me with x equals 6. Okay, so it's always just the opposite from what you're seeing. If we had a look at 5x equals 30, we know for a fact that that's 5 times x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 5, remembering to use fractions to show division. And that will also give me x equals 6, and we know 6 times 5 will give me 30. Same thing here, y minus 21, adding 21 is the same operation, the opposite operation, my bad. That would be 38 is equal to y, which is also the same as saying y equals 38. Remembering that we can swap an equal sign, what's on each side around, because it is equivalent. This one here, we've got 10 equals q over 3. We know that that's saying q divided by 3, so we need to multiply by 3 on both sides to then get 30 equals q. Pause the video here and have a go at the next ones by yourself, and then I'll pop the answers up for you. This one here, we've got 10a equals 30, dividing by 10, because that's 10 times a, will give me a equals 3. For the next one, I'm going to subtract 19 from both sides because I've got 19 plus x, and that will give me 4 is equal to x. Next one, I've got y divided by 4, so I'm going to times that by 4, and that will give me y is equal to 28. I've then got c minus 12, so I'm going to add 12 to both sides, and that will give me 20 is equal to c, or c equals 20. And then last but not least, I've got 10b equals 13. This might have thrown a couple of you off, but if I divide that by 10, I am going to leave that in fraction form. So that's going to be 13 over 10. Okay, moving on to two-step equations. They are exactly what they sound like. They take 2 steps to solve. Sometimes you might get a 3 or a 4-step, but to stick with for now, we're going to go with a 2-step. When you solve an equation with 2 or more steps, we have to work in the opposite order from our usual order of operations. So what I mean by that is instead of BODMAS, we're going to be doing SAMDOT. We're going to start and look to see if there's any subtractions or multiplications first. Then we're going to move on to multiplication and division, then any powers, and then any brackets. Okay, so we're going to be working a little bit backwards. For this first one, I've got 7 plus 4a equals 23. I want to be working as far away from my variable as possible. So I'm going to start by subtracting 7 from both sides. That will give me 4a is equal to 16. And if I then divide both sides by 4, I'm going to get a is equal to 4. For this next one, I am once again going to work as far away from my variable as I can. I'm going to start by adding 2 to both sides, and that will give me d over 3 is equal to 6. And then I'm going to remove that fraction by multiplying by 3 on both sides, which will give me d is equal to 18. Pause the video here and have a go at these next ones by yourself, and then I will go through them. For this next one here, I've got 12 is equal to 2 times e plus 1, all in brackets. So I'm going to start by dividing both sides by 2. That will give me 6 is equal to e plus 1. And then if I just subtract 1 from both sides, I will get 5 is equal to e. For this next one, I'm going to start by subtracting 9 first up. So I'm going to end up with 3x equals 6. And if I then divide both sides by 3, I'm going to end up with x is equal to 2. For this next one, working away from the variable once again, we're going to start by adding 3 to both sides. I'm going to have m over 4 is equal to 5, and then if I times both sides by 4, I'm going to end up with m is equal to 20. Last but not least, on this one here, we're going to start by dividing both sides by 4. I'm going to end up with p minus 2 equals 6, and then I'm going to add 2 to both sides to get p equals 8. See, that wasn't so scary after all.